Great to see you. Big waves to you. And it's always a pleasure to get to come on the Wednesday Wisdom, talk to everybody, and hopefully this will be kind of short tonight, but also hopefully my prayer is that it will be of impact to you, And I got to first say this, so many new people are joining our company, joining your teams as customers, as brand partners, as you convert them over to brand partners. And you're on this call right now. And if you're brand new to us, we are so excited to be your partner. We're so excited to lock arms with you and help you get what you want out of this. And when Andrea asked me to come on and kind of facilitate tonight, I was excited about it. And I've got a couple of areas that I want to go. But the first area I want to go in is I want to know from you on here, and Andrea is going to be taking screenshots. So if you're planning on attending PXP, that stands for Partner Co Experience. We've actually got four this year. We've got four this year, and I'm like bullseyed in on all four of them. But we've got Macau, China. We have Orlando, Florida, which is all of us in North America. We have Milan over in Europe in October. We also have Tokyo in October. All of these are PXPs. It's our company event around the world, and ours is in Orlando, Florida for North America. So if you are going to Orlando, Florida, put a one in the chat for me. And Andrea is going to be taking snaps of this. And what I encourage you to do, we are sold out. Like there's no tickets, so you can't go on, you can't buy right now. And so if you have a ticket or an extra ticket, here's what I would challenge you to do. First of all, I hope you're going but if you have an extra ticket, feel free. You can let it be known in Partner Co Nation. Like these tickets are going to get gobbled up because so many people are looking. So many people are wanting to get into the door. And there's nothing I can do. I'm getting text messages about PXP like, I need more tickets. And I'm like, I do too. So if you're sitting on one or two, or if you're like, hopefully it's not somebody that's going, I can't go. But if it is, I promise you this, there's no problems getting rid of them. So put it out there and we will gobble them up because we're out. That's all we have. So, and I want to tell you this event, oh my goodness. If you've never sit into a crowd of thousands, I know people have different math in their head. Like they'll be like, there's 5,000 people there and it's really 250, right? I don't know if you know any of those people in your life, but here's what I'll tell you. It is going to be packed from wall to wall. This is going to be an unbelievable event. And so many of you are going to get to see it from the stage. That's right, Alicia Bacon. From the stage, she's going to be crossing over that stage, looking out on the audience. And I'm probably going to grab the mic and give it to her and let her share some of her TikToks on the mic at PXP. So all kinds of good things going on. But we can't wait to experience that with you. And in saying that, it kind of leads me in, Andrea. I want to start it like this because I'm going to bring on a special person in just a minute. But before I do, I want to talk to you kind of on a serious note because so many times, today I was privileged to get to spend some time with the owners of the company, and one of the questions that keeps getting brought up around our industry as a whole is, what does it really take to build a network marketing business? Remember, I'm not saying to build an influencer business. Like if you've got the ability to go out on TikTok and get like 70,000 views or 5 million views and sell, like you have an amazing skill. Harness it. Okay. And let that feed that lead generation like crazy. And I'm so proud of all of you that's doing that. But there's a distinct skill set in our industry when it comes to team building. Okay. And as I look, I see Dr. Crystal Vance on, like, a specific skill set that goes back. Do you realize our industry is 100 years old? Like, I'm thinking about the Amway guys and their family starting this industry. Mary Kay, like, and they started this in 100 years old. I have people all the time. It's like, how's our industry doing? I'm hearing it's 100 years old, ladies and gentlemen. We have companies that are billions and billions of worth in our industry. It's unbelievable. We have companies in our industry popping up every day, like bunnies. So it's a valuable industry. And then there's people that understand how to build it, how to build networking, how to build residual income, how to wake up in the morning and you're going to work because you want to, not because you have to. And that's what hopefully we're teaching you and coaching you on, because here's what I want for you. I want you to feel the power of our industry. Is it misunderstood at times by the outside world? Absolutely. Is it a beautiful industry? Oh, they don't have a clue how beautiful. But I want to share with you, and I'm going to ask Andrea to touch on this, because actually me and Andrea was on a conference call today, and she made a statement on this conference call, and she said it was years ago, but I had a shift in my mind. And I want her to share that shift. And maybe this could help some of you, because our industry is about connections. It's about connections. And you got to ask yourself the question, are you a connection-based person? Meaning, do you really find enjoyment getting to know people? Do you really find enjoyment getting to relationship with people? Getting to hear their struggles and where they want to go in life, and then finding out ways to get them there. I hear from people all the time. They're like, I just don't have a connection with my people. And I'm like, I'm sorry, because that's the power of network marketing. It's the connection. It's getting to know people. It's getting to know the color of their carpet or their tile floors. It's getting to know their dogs. It's getting to know their kids. And Andrea, today, while we were on a conference call, you actually talked about that. So I want to kick us off right here, because there's a lot of ways to build our industry, a lot of ways to build our industry. And I love influencers. I love people that learn how to build social media. I love that. Like, I applaud you. But to build to build residual income that will stick and last, it's all about connections. And so, Andrea, would you touch on that just a little bit? Because I thought what you shared today was super powerful.
Well, thank you. And I will say, so I'm going to give you guys a little backstory about me. So you may not know this, but I'm exceptionally shy. And when I came into this industry, I was a lot more shy. Okay, so when I first started, I thought that my job was to show up. We did parties back then too. I've always, really enjoyed that. But I thought my job was to show up at the party at start time and do a presentation and then run out. Okay. And your job, if you were hosting the party, was to connect with the people and close it down and do all of that. And I would go to the party, I would run out, and I wouldn't meet any new people. And I wouldn't connect with anybody. And not because I didn't love them, but because walking in a room full of strangers was absolutely terrifying for me. So I thought, well, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my job, and then I'm going to run out of there, right? And then I met my mentor, and he would talk a lot about, he would ask questions. Well, when you left there, who stood out to you? Who did you connect with? Who did you this? And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not having any of these conversations to be able to answer any of those questions. And it took me a minute. It took a little bit of growth and all of that, but then I realized that no, yeah, I might go in and do the presentation, right? That might be part of my job. But my true job, what I really do here, what we really get paid for is to show up in that living room and go chat with people. Go find out about their kids. I'm going to find out about their dogs and maybe their cats and their chickens or whatever kind of critter that they have, but figure out what's going on in their life. Why do they even have any interest in doing this? What excites them about this business? Who brought them in? How have they benefited? All of those things. That's actually what my job is. And that if I walk out of there and maybe I didn't get to talk to everybody in the room, but I've got 3 new contacts in my phone, 3 people that I'm like, hey, well, if you need some help, I'm here, that I'm honored to help you. Well, then I've made a little bit of a connection and perhaps a little bit of a difference. And that's actually what I'm here for.
Yeah. And it's Andrea, can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
Okay. So one of the things, and I don't think it'll embarrass you, but Andrea actually said to me, maybe, I don't know, last week, into last week. So Andrea recently hit president in the company. And this was the honest, here's what she said. She was so giddy excited because Dr. Crystal Vance called her.
Mm.
And she said the nicest thing to me. And I share that with you because, it's bragging on Dr. Crystal because she's busy, she runs a team. But at the end of the day, what really matters?
You made me cry.
But it's the connection. I really want to bring it out because it's like, we're busy. Life's busy. Kids make us busy. Like tending to our parents make us busy. Like all of that stuff. Like we have life. All of you have life. But we can never forget as we're building this network marketing beautiful business that life really is connections. Life really is that little text message that means the world. It's really that phone call that says, I see you. And it meant so much to Andrea that she bragged on Crystal when Crystal wasn't around, which to me is the best form of flattery. Like, hey, talk about me when I'm not around in a good way. I'm happy. That makes me very happy because you don't have to, right? I'm not there. And so I share that with you to go as you're building a team of 1, 2, 3, thousands, be the person that's connecting. Be the person that knows the color of the carpet. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely. Are you going to get tired? Absolutely. You might have to take a day off every now and then and go, you know what? I'm just going to go outside and de-weed my flowers, like my flower beds. I got to just pull weeds. Have you ever pulled weeds? It like makes you feel better because you're throwing them out and it's like, I needed that. Maybe you're like Michelle McKay and you're out hitting tennis balls, but really, what are you thinking when you're hitting those tennis balls? No, I'm kidding. So, but my point being is I try to have a little fun on here. Come on. But it's connections, right? And that's why I love somebody like Leisha Bacon because she cares. She so much cares about people. So I want you to remember that tonight. You're like, okay, what's highlight number 1 for tonight? Connection. How can you connect more? And you're like, I don't have a team of 20. Connect with the one you have. Connect with your customers. It'll grow to 10 or 20 because of connections. And if you're like Andrea and you're like, you know what, I'm shy. I don't really like connecting. That's where the art of the industry comes in. And you got to learn and you got to read and you got to have mentors that push you. But today, Andrea lives a life of really time freedom on her own terms because of this beautiful industry. And that's where we want to get everybody. We want to work with people to help them get there. And so that's my first thought for tonight. My second one is recognition. You can never recognize your team enough. I told you that how Crystal made Andrea feel, and she's known Crystal forever. Like she's known her forever. And that call made her feel so special. And she, you know what? That's what connections do. That's what bragging on. That's what congratulating team members do. And so tonight I want to share, okay, I want to share just some of our vice presidents and our senior vice presidents and our officers and our senior officers and our presidents. I just want to share a group of those over the last little bit. And I want you to practice with me. If you see somebody on you there, send them a message. Say, "Oh my gosh, we're celebrating you tonight." And just we're going to do more of this on here, okay? We just posted so many flyers out across Partner Co Nation today. So Andrea, take it away.
Okay, I'm gonna cross my fingers that this works.
Okay. All right. Listen, hey, Andrea, I don't know what the music, we had some really beautiful music for you. We got to figure out how to get
Did
that.
it not work?
It did not come through like we wanted.
Here.
Okay. I should have just let you think it did. I'm sorry. There's got to be a setting off somewhere because it was a little bit crazy. But here's the deal. It's the thought that counted. It's the thought that counted. We don't claim to be professional marketers out here. We're in the field. We're salespeople. So here's the thing. It's just, guys, congratulations. There were over 50 plus on that. That's why we had to go so fast. There's over 50 plus, like, bigger ranks, senior, like vice president, senior vice president, officer, senior officer, president. Guys, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. And the beauty of that is you can't hit those ranks without breaking team lead, senior team lead, director, senior director, managers, senior managers. So there were hundreds of those people that are all on Partner Co Nation right now getting celebrated. Okay. So here's what I encourage you to do. Join us in celebration. If you just took the night and just went in Partner Co Nation and was like, congratulations, congratulations to those people, it means the world. Just like it did when Crystal celebrated Andrea, right? And I share that because connection in our industry is massive and celebration is massive. And so key point number 2 tonight, celebrate your people. Find ways to celebrate them. Send them a note. Do something special. Feed them every now and then, like whatever it takes to build the connections. I have the most amazing friends from this industry that I could talk to you about driving long trips with them. I could talk to you about eating a lot of popcorn with them and probably foods that we shouldn't eat. But you know what? It's those things are what I remember, and those are what is the bond that is inseparable. even in times where we argue and we fuss and we get mad at each other, but it keeps us intact. Connection and celebration. Can't do it enough. Okay. It's what makes our industry 100 years ago. It is what started our industry that thrives today. And let me tell you, what will destroy it is not doing those two things and then letting greed and ego creep in. It will destroy a great company. It will destroy a great organization like wildfire. Stay away from those things and embrace the connections and the celebrations. Watch what happens to your organizations as you do that. So tonight, I want to bridge over because I want to invite, and I asked her to jump on tonight. So I wanted to invite Summer Symonds on. And before I do, I want you to look at we want to recognize you on here. So we're going to show it up here for just a little bit. And if any of these people you have, or maybe they're on your team, or even if they're not on your team, like, give them some love. And we're going to talk about this for a little bit, okay? But this is the top, this is the top 25 in the world inside of just the North America market only. Okay. When we talk about a global perspective, we're in 60 countries. This is your power rankers that meet out of North America that represent. So you got to realize there's people from China, there's people from Europe, there's people, and then here's where your North American market represents. Now I want to move to our North America power rankers, which is our top 50 that revolve. It's a revolving door every week, right? As you grow, like as you build. And so take a screenshot of this. This was this past week. This was our top 50. And I look across here and I see so many of you, so many of your team getting in this top 50. Okay. I see so many of you that's moving up in the power rankings. Okay. And this is not an easy thing to do week after week after week. Okay. It's not an easy thing to do. But tonight, what I want to touch on is, how do I move onto this sheet? How do I move into the top 50? How do I, and on everybody's dashboard in their back office, you've got your power ranking that comes out every week. It shows you the global, it shows you North America, it shows you just in your country. So how do I move into that spot? Well, I'm going to bring you Summer Symonds from Decatur, Alabama, because me and Summer has spent almost 15 years together. And when we talk about connections, I could tell you a lot. Just so you know, Summer is she's like 3 steps from being a stand-up comedian. Okay. If anybody hasn't went out and seen recent TikToks, okay. And she called me the other day and she said, "Hey, I need some advice on TikTok on response." And I said, "You're asking the wrong human." I said, "I know my boundaries. And my boundaries are, don't ask me. You're leading that trend there." And she's doing tremendous. Her and Alicia Bacon, and having a lot of fun. So you can go follow her there on TikTok. But one thing I've seen in Summer, we're going to go back to it. You represent that top 50 power rankers, and you're in the middle of the pack there in the top 50 in North America. And so, first of all, congratulations. I called her to congratulate her the other night, but she's always so busy working. She didn't even, I'm like, "No, I'm calling you to congratulate you, But Summer, what are you and your team doing? Because for you to get to in that power ranking area, you're focusing, you decided to zero in on something. And I'm sure everybody on this call, obviously, if they're not there, they want to be there in that power ranking, because if you stay in the power rankings, your income in this industry is going to continue to climb to the areas you want it to be. So Summer, talk to us all on here about what we can do to move our power rankings weekly in this company?
Okay, so thanks for asking me to be on. Can't believe you called me out like that. I like to have a good time. We like to laugh, that's for sure. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. That's what I say all the time. But basically, I was a school teacher, so I am all about basics. And I was a basketball coach, coached volleyball 1 year. But to me, if you can find something that the masses can do that's simple, and our board system is it by far. Not everybody can go spend a lot of time studying TikTok or Instagram or Facebook Reels to learn what to do. It's not even worth your time because most people will never figure it out. And I'm not interested in being a social media influencer. I'm interested in being a Brent Palmer. Like, I want to build a big team, and I know that's going to come from residual. I literally am educating myself on social media to just generate leads. But as far as the team goes, we are sticking to the basics. We are posting at 9 and 3, and then we're getting better at it. We're being more consistent every day doing the 9 and 3, whether it's scheduled or we're setting alarms to make sure we do it. We make sure we're following up, and we make sure we're using the 1, 2, 3 text and converting, and it is working like a charm. It's the one Susan Frank kind of gave to you a few weeks ago that came up on the IPA. I actually got a text during church tonight that another one had converted on a 1, 2, 3 text. So that's working like crazy. But and he's probably going to go back and clarify what the 1, 2, 3 text is. But when we get a number 3, we don't do it by ourselves. That is when we bring in our third party and we're connecting people. I've got some gals locally that are calling me constantly, but I have one girl who's recently gotten fired up. Her name's Amanda. She wanted me to talk to her friend Amanda. I go meet Amanda without the other Amanda. She's like, do I go? You know, she's got 3 kids. The other girl's got 3 kids. I got 2 kids. I was like, no, it's already a circus. We're going to simplify. And we just made that connection. I told her, I said, don't worry about knowing how to do everything. Just connect me with people. So I went and met that Amanda last night doing a live. She sends me something about her Poppy, which is what she calls her husband. She said, oh my goodness, you don't know that's what I call him, but I feel like I've known you so much longer. So we've already become BFFs. And then today she connected me with another girl up in Indiana. Loved her energy. She got enrolled right before I went to church. So that 3-way call and that connection works like a charm.
Yeah, let me stop right there, Summer, because I want this to be very practical for everybody tonight. Like I believe you do a training, and if you can't get off here and grab something and go apply it right now to your business, I fail. Okay. And so the first thing is, and I try to learn from everybody. So when I got this 3-way text, and I'm going to get Andrea to put it in the chats if she doesn't mind, this 3-way text. We're going to also share it in the chats. But I want to share with you what it says. Excited for you to reach your goals. Message me back. Are you a 1, 2, or a 3? 1's a $150 reorder or whatever you retail it at. 2 is you want to save. 3 is you want to save and earn. If you want option 2 or 3 in the morning or afternoon or evening, best for a few minute or overview. I botched that up. You can read it. But the bottom line is, if it's a 2 or 3, I'm setting an appointment. Okay. Now I want to share with you what happened to me. So there's a lady. I'm going to pull my notes up. Okay. Because I like to deal in facts. There's a lady. Her name is Iris. And she sent me a good morning. Happy Monday. I hadn't forgot about you. I'm ready to order the drops. Just on a whim. Now, in the past, what would you all do at that point?
Message 1.
Sell her a box of drops, right? Message 1, right? Like move to the, she just said, I want to order a box of drops. Sell her a box of drops. That's what I would have done in the past. But here's what I didn't. Here's what I did this time. If you could see my message, I literally put, okay, perfect. Excited for you to reach your goals. Message me back. Are you a 1, 2, or a 3? I didn't sell the box this time. I gave her the options.
Now, Coach,
If she,
are you clear? do you want to clarify this was a second? This was
Yeah,
a
it was a
reorder.
second.
Yeah.
It was a reorder. But the bottom line is, because I sent the message, she sent me back 3, meaning she wants to save and earn. I wouldn't have picked that for her. She picked it. And guess what we did? We set up a time. We did a Zoom. She enrolled as a brand partner. She bought a 4-pack. Now she's posting twice a day. I share that to say, experiment. Summer calls me all the time and she says, what about this? And what do I say, Summer?
Test
Experiment.
it before you throw it out to everybody.
Like,
I'm the guinea pig.
Yeah, I said, test it first. Test it first. We've been testing this. And guess what? It's landing. A lot of brand partners. So if you're not using the 1, 2, 3, test it. Test it. You use it yourself. You see how you like it. All I know is I see it upping our game by using it. And I got to clarify this. Leisha and Summer, I'm like ecstatic for y'all of what's going on in social media, because to me, if I have a way to get people to respond, it's a lead generation. Like, and you said it, like that's going to grow the team bigger. So, but what I love that they're doing is they're doing it in addition to the drop talk events, in addition to posting twice a day. So they're not leaving what they know how to do to go do this. They're doing it in addition to, which is the right way to do it. And so another thing I want you to touch on, Summer, is for the power ranking. All right, you're posting twice a day. But what about ultimate status? Like where are you breeding this mindset into your team? Like, how important is ultimate to move up the power ranking?
That's air for us. You've got to get to ultimate. So we try to keep check on those striking distance reports. We keep up with everybody's rank as far as their week, getting to ultimate. And then when it starts getting close to time, if we're not there yet, we're pushing, we're calling, we're like, what do we need to do to make this happen? And so one of the things that I've used as leverage, though, and I've talked about it on the IPA, is I continue to enroll people personally. I'm converting customers to brand partners and I stack them. And so when I can call up a girl who's had 3 people put under her, where I'm converting those customers with the 1, 2, 3 text, I'm like, if we can go start building another leg, you can start making some money where your drops are free and you've got some extra spending money. And they get really excited about sharing on their social media. So I'm always trying to kind of put more than just an elbow in their back, and they start posting at 9 and 3. And I closely monitor my personals posts to make sure they're posting them publicly. They're responding to the comments that they're going over. Like, it's a lot of hand holding to make sure that they're following up and getting their orders placed and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes, yes. And so here's the beauty of what I see when I look at Summer's business. At the end of the week, she's going into My Money, My Volume, and she's clicking on the volume in her lines. And she's seeing a lot of 500 PV orders and 208 orders, which means there's 10 boxes of drops going out. There's 4 boxes of drops, which means people are posting twice a day, right? Which means the volume's getting leveraged. So people are getting to ultimate. If you want to go up the power ranking chart, I've heard Crystal coach on this when she's in the market. If you want to move up the power ranking, you enroll people, get them to ultimate, and teach your team to do the same. That's it. And the power ranking will soar for you. I see Haley Lee on here. Great example. Like, they get their teams to ultimate. That is the key. That's the key. And they also check in. Summer checks in with her team. She'll go watch you on Facebook to see, are you posting twice a day? Like, that's the first step. And we can't just assume people are consistent, because humans are consistently inconsistent. Okay. It's like, well, why did they stop posting? They made $5,000 in 1 month. I don't know. I can't take that course. I haven't figured that out. Okay. And I don't want to try to figure that out. All I know is we have to continue checking in. And that's that connection piece I was talking about. That's that connection piece. So, Summer, one last thing, like as you're building with drop talks, okay, how important is it? And maybe, you know, that it's not the summer show. You're trying and you're trying to get your drop talks scattered across your team, meaning it's going on everywhere, whether you're there or not. So can you talk on that a little bit from doing drop talks?
Yeah, so we offered a just kind of a challenge for everybody to put a drop talk on the calendar so that they would go do it themselves. So some of them do it really small. It may just be them and somebody else. And then some of them may have a small group, but I'm a single mother. I have 2 little boys every other week, and so I can't physically be at every drop talk on my team. And as it continues to grow, I for sure can't be at all the drop talks. And so we're just encouraging people to keep it very short, very simple. And really, when they get to the end of it, ask the questions because you got to figure out why somebody showed up. I'm kind of the opposite of Andrea. I tell people I'm a collector of people. I love people and I love to hear their stories. And so when I can go in and get to know somebody, it's easy for me to flip them, to wanting to share what we're doing. And so the drop talks can be a tremendous amount of fun, but a really good tool to get to know your people in order to get them on board.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this last. So, how many products do you have at your drop talk?
Drops.
Okay. So, here's what I want to say. But just so everybody knows, I sponsored Summer, so I know what her business looks like, and I promise you, I've connected in it. And so when I look at her organization, if you're like, if you're somebody on here that's like, Summer, you're in the top 50 power rankers, you only talk about one product. Pretty simple. The drops. Top 50. She's in the middle of the pack. Go check out the screen I just showed you. And she talks about one product, the drops. But if I go look at all of her auto ship business, guess what they're on? They're on Limu. They're on Moa. They're on Tahitian Noni. They're taking Renew. They're using Pure Nourish. They're loving Vanali. But Summer, how many products have you talked to them about?
A few, but one at a party. When I bring them on, it's one product.
Product. It's one product. I share that with you to say when I look at her business, it's a healthy business. Every week, people are enrolling brand partners on 10 packs, 4 packs, sometimes 30 packs. If somebody wants to buy a 30 pack, they just want to start selling. But you don't see a hodgepodge of orders. But then when they get their auto ship, they're picking, there are other products out there. There are other products out there. I encourage you. Listen, we're all our own bosses. There's no dictator here. You get to do what you want to do. But I travel the world. I travel the world. I'm in a lot of living rooms. I'm in a lot of events. And I have people that's like, I'm just leading with one product. I'm just leading with one product. And I'll go to the event. I'm like, oh, I see 6 or 7. I don't know where the one. Your one and my one looks a little different. I share that I'm not slapping anyone. I'm telling you, I want you to grow a fast business. And I know what that looks like. So I would highly encourage you to focus there. And then let the company do what the company's good at, which is up. They will absolutely. How many of you came here on one product but yet you take 6, 8, 10 different products in the company. Well, it's sure not because I called you and tried to get you to buy them. It's everybody's raising their hand like me. If I could go over and show you all the products I take every day, listen, I mean, I'm putting them all down me. But you know what I talk about? What?
Drops.
The drops. And I share that with you because if you want to go fast and you want to create simplicity where the masses can do it, I'm going to make Michelle McKay really happy today. There's a guy named Jim Rohn years ago that said, if you want to live with the classes, you will create something that the masses can take advantage of. Right? The masses. Appeal to the masses and you will live with the classes. One product is super simple to learn how to talk about. Right? Posting twice a day on boards. It's free. Simple system. Thank you all that created that and collaborated over it. People are winning. And then lastly, keep it simple. And the more you're educated, keep it simple. The hardest thing for me to do as I travel is not talk for 7 hours, because I do know a lot about the company. I do know a lot about the owners. I do know a lot about sales. And I'm like, oh, if I could just talk to you for 7 hours, I'll put you to sleep. Keep it simple. And that's the key. That all the people in our industry for 100 years that made it and created it and did well with it, that's what they've got in common. They kept it simple. They kept it down where the masses could create. In summer, see you guys doing that. And I wanted you to come on because it's like, hear from somebody. I like to go to somebody that's winning, right? And there's no better way to look at the power rankings and go, if you're on the power ranking, you're winning. Like you figured out a way to get there. And there's no shortcuts. That's what I like about the power ranking. You got to go put it in. You got to go put the sweat equity in. And then last, I want to share this, and I want to end. And I know we're getting close. I want to share another philosophy of mine. And since Andrea asked me to come on, there's always this thing in our industry about price point. And so if you are using the SOG, if you are using the drops, I want to give you my thought, since this is my golden little few minutes here. Okay? And I want to give you a picture here to look at. So Andrea is going to pull up these pictures. And I want to talk you through. You see that group of people? Let's say that group of people found a product that they could sell for $300. $300. I'm going to say, how many of those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's about 10 people on there. Okay? About 10 people. And they're selling it, man. Them 10's making some money, they're selling it. Okay? I want to show you this other picture. Ah, it's 1,000 people on there. Okay? There's 1,000 people in this group. There's 10,000 people in this group. And these 10,000 people are selling them. They're selling them, for, let's just say, half of that. Who wins? Who wins? If you sit on top of this organization, who wins? The masses win. The masses always wins. The law of large numbers always win. Our industry for 100 years was created. Listen to me now. It was created where a lot of people could do a little, but it could create a lot. What I love about the system of growth, in summer, You and your team are examples of thrivers of this, and many, many on here are the same. Is you're taking a simple, duplicatable system, you collaborated and started selling it for a price point, and you're just training the army to grow to 1,000. You started at 2, and then you grew it to 10 with connections. And then you started doing drop talks, and you started doing the hard mileage, and it grew to hundreds. And guess what? Hundreds are going to create more than 10. And then you grew it to 1,000. And now you got other people branching out, doing their own drop talks, and you're connecting them and you're coaching them, and you're removing roadblocks. And then it grows over time to 10,000. And 10,000, what if just 10,000 people sold 100 PV pack this week? Would that be a lot of volume? It's the law of large numbers. That's the way our industry has always been for 100 years. That's the game. That's why we want to work with you on converting a customer to a brand partner. Because one by one, you're building that army bigger, and then you train them, and then you connect with them, and then you celebrate their success. And you go, how do you connect with them? Through drop talks, through Super Saturdays, through PXP, through getting to know each other. And it never gets any more complicated than that. And if anybody ever shows up and tries to tell you and sell you some kind of line that it's got to be more complicated than that, they're doing it for their own gratification, because it's simple. I love this industry because it's simple. Alicia Bacon says Brent Palmer is the same guy I met back in 2000 and whatever, 10. I don't know when it was. And that's the biggest compliment for me, because I want to keep it simple. You show up to a drop talk today, I do it the same way every time, because I want us to keep it simple. This industry is not complicated. Complicated people make it complicated. And so I share that all with you tonight. Listen, you are doing tremendous. Like, you're growing, you're succeeding, things are happening for you. I congratulate you, I applaud you, and I celebrate you. And my prayer is that we just keep getting better and better and better. We stuff all the little outside things like ego and greed and all this. We're like, no, we're keeping that thing stuffed down, and all we care about is just continuing to connect and celebrate and get better and better and better at what we do. Drop talks, conversions, right? Training the army of people to grow from 1,000 to 10,000. And at the end of the day, the law of large numbers always wins in our industry. And Summer, thanks for being here tonight. You're a shining example of that. Andrea Rosser, shining example for doing this call every Wednesday and doing the training midday. Guys, if you're not getting on, your new people on the training midday on Wednesday at 12 she does it at 12 p.m. Central Time every week. It's free. You just send your people, right? And she's going to coach them on the same thing every time to get them started off. Why does she do that? Because she knows so many of you work. And it's like, if she can take that time to help your team grow, then it's a great service. So we love you. We're so grateful for you, for your partnership. And listen, we're behind you every step of the way. We're locking arms. We've got to know, hey, we don't even know the word quit. It's not even in our vocabulary. We're going to go to the top of this together. We're going to have challenging times. That's okay. We're going to remove the roadblocks, and we're going to keep right on the trucking. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great Wednesday. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Summer.
for being on.
Thank you, guys. Love you all. Have a beautiful Wednesday. We'll see you back in the morning on the Coach's Corner. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you. Summer, appreciate you too. Have a good night.
Thanks.
You guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Coach.
Blessings, everybody.
Love you guys.
Yeah,
See you,
Ellie.
Andrea. Thank you, Coach. Love you
Bye,
guys.
Brent.
Have a great night.
No, it's not gonna play out well. You're exactly right.
Thanks for